Hi everyone, so I'm doing my John Maxwell, and today I was reflecting on values, right? And what are Canadian values? So, when the Liberals first got elected, I was very excited about it, right? Sunny ways and things were going to get better, things were going to get brighter, especially for immigrants. There was going to be less discrimination, and a Canadian is a Canadian is a Canadian. And I went out to Marco Mendocino's first town hall in this area. It was held at a school not far from here. And I was shocked. I was sitting there and listening. There was a long line of people that came up to ask questions. And majority were Filipino women and Indian women. And woman after woman came up and said, I am a caregiver. I came here on a skilled worker visa and I'm living with people who are abusing me verbally and sexually. My manager comes in and expects me to have sex with him. And if I say no, I get threatened with being fired. And when I go to the police say, well, there's no evidence, or they say you suggested it or you asked for it. And until I went through my own experience of harassment, where nobody would confirm anything, and people know very well that I did not ask for it. I refused to be friends with the people who were saying that they wanted their manager to be friends with me. I'm always professional and I'm always polite. I can just imagine what these women felt like. You see all these videos about all these sex trafficking and all that that happens in Dubai, in Africa, but it happens right here in Canada. I wish that Marco had filmed those town halls and made them public, because they don't. They talk about people being troublemakers and all this, and what values are they promoting right here at home? When women speak up, when women come forward, we don't get any help. We don't get anything. And there were 2 police that came here when people had brought it into my condo. And one of the women officers said to me, this type of thing that you're going through is more common than you think. It doesn't only happen to you. She said it happens everywhere. It happens in the police force. It happens everywhere. So it's really, really sad. When you push back, you don't get any support. The support you get is that you should go on mental health treatment or take drugs or something. And it's ridiculous. They don't do any sensitivity training with the men. They don't educate them to say no is no. And when you're in a subordinate position, there's pressure. You're not earning as much as your executive. You're not a true business partner. You don't if you speak up, you get pushback. HR will say, oh, what's the problem? So these things don't happen just in Saudi Arabia and in other places. They happen right here in Canada. I remember my mom said to me, if you get a job in South Africa and they're going to give you board and lodge, you should take it and you should go. Or if you get a job in Dubai. And I said to her, I'm not willing to do that. I said to her, you don't know what they do to the women. They say board and lodge and all that, and then they want extra things. They want you to sleep with them. And she's like, no, people have gone from our country. I said to her, yeah, they may not tell you what's happening to them, but it is happening. So I'm not the beauty I used to be anymore, but at least I've got a beautiful heart. And I stand up for women. I stand up for what's right. And I say, no, it's not right. But these are the things I was thinking about it today, because I renewed my membership with the Conservatives. And right after this woman called me, can you make a donation? I said to her, I just renewed my membership. And she's like, well, even if you could give anything between $10 and $500, I said to her, I'm living off debt. I just renewed my membership. I just told you when I can make a donation, I'll make it. I was getting really irritated with her, and she sounded like a white woman. But anyway, I was getting irritated because I told her once nicely, I've just renewed my membership. I will do it when I can. And again, she asked. And then she said, thank you. And she put the phone on. But that's what irritates me. Right? I mean, if somebody says no, no is no. It doesn't matter whether it's a donation or being friends with someone or going out to a movie. No. Oh, well, what about this? Have you thought about it this way? Have you thought? No, I don't want to think about it your way. If I say no, I mean no. I felt so sorry for these Filipino women. I used to go to the town halls to volunteer there with Marco. The first one I didn't, but after that I did. I used to go to his events. I used to volunteer. I helped at so many community events. I helped for his Canada Day. What support did he give me when I needed him? Nothing. No support. He refused to even meet with me to hear about my experience or what I was going through or how hard things were for me. No support at all. And the only support I got was occasionally to speak up for one in Canada or meet with him for one in Canada. And I thought, you know what, bugger it. I mean, yes, things were bad under Mugabe, they got bad, but part of it was sanctions and part of it was people wanted their farms. They were promised those farms and they didn't get them, and it wasn't done properly. And we were landowners under Mugabe, so don't forget that. We were business owners and landowners, and our workers were treated very, very well. My grandparents and my mom paid for schooling for their children, education. They gave them a place to live. They had a separate building on our property where they lived. And they had a shower, they had a toilet, everything. Whatever food we ate, we gave them also the same food. In the shop, I used to tell the worker, if you want a cool drink, go and take it. And she'd say, no, Belinda, it's okay. I used to say to her, no, go and take it. I used to give her a chair to sit down. I got no courtesy like that in Canada. One time I fell down. I was walking and I fell down. I went into one of the businesses and I said, oh, I fell down. Can you please give me a cup of water? And she said to me, no, I can't. So that's how I got treated here. And anyway, that's it. Now I'm still applying for other better paying jobs internally where I am. And they know that I'm an executive assistant. They know that I've been trying to get something better. I had applied initially to work with Marco, and he seemed very enthusiastic. But when his EA left, he didn't contact me to ask me to come. So I was like, why would I bother to stay with him? Michael Levitt, I got one of those runner-up awards for all of my volunteering in the community. None of them came back to me. So, and things were hard, and things are hard for me and my mom. They're not easy. But I'll have to just keep going, and I'll keep applying for jobs, whether it's here, Australia, England, even in the church. Father Larry's tried so many times to get me a position in the church. Nothing. So that's life. So it wasn't all bad under Mugabe. I don't care what people say. They can say what they want. But there's also the corruption and all of that to deal with, the human rights abuses. I know that they do happen. But there are still good things about Zimbabwe, and with a little bit of help and support, things could change. But if Canada doesn't want to help, they're going to go with the BRIC nations. Russia, India, China, they're going to form partnerships. And it's already happening. So I don't know what's going to happen. They're bringing in more and more immigrants, putting us in more and more low-paying jobs. You keep retraining, investing in your education. Try this, try that, get more education, more skills, more and more and more, and go into more debt. And nobody will give you that hand up or open that door for you into a good paying job. No one. And once your reputation is spoiled, like mine was spoiled, it's very, very hard to come back up. Very hard. But I have worked and I've done it with the support of the church and the counseling I had in the church. I've done it. I've pulled up. And I have a little bit of self-confidence back. Not the way I used to be, but I have some self-confidence back, which is good. Before, when I used to have coaching, when they used to call me, I used to just start crying because I thought, oh, they're going to let me go again. Because that's what used to happen. They say, oh, Belinda, can I have a word with you? And then they'd fire me. So I always expected the worst. Oh, we don't have a job for you anymore. Or I'd get a call at home. Oh, the contract is over. Please leave your badge with your agency and don't come back. And when I used to ask why, they used to say, oh, no, they just decided that there's attrition. They don't have work. One time I was at BMO. They told me, we put you on a 2-year contract. I came home and I got a call that evening. Oh, no, the job is over. We're not taking you back. Leave your badge with the agency. I said, but they just told me that they're putting me on a 2-year contract. She said, well, I just got a call. I don't know what to tell you. So that's how the banks treated me. CIBC was the same thing. The manager's wife was going through she was on her last legs of her life. She was suffering, and he took his frustration out on me. And he told me, oh, I don't like your approach. Everybody liked me there at CIBC. Oh, you're doing such a fantastic job. We're so happy to have you here. And we hope you're going to stay with us. So nice to have somebody with your work ethic. Then the next thing, I got let go. So this is the immigrant experience. I know people say, oh, they want to come to Canada, they want to come to these places, but you have to be prepared because that's how you get treated. There's one of the places I worked at, I heard this girl saying, oh yeah, we niggers. I said to her, you shouldn't talk like that about yourself. And she's like, no, there's nothing wrong. I said to her, no, but it's not nice. It's derogatory. I was very upset when I heard her talking like that about herself. Because in Africa, people don't do that. In Zimbabwe, people get very offended if you speak like that. But anyway, we'll see how it goes. I don't know what solutions the Conservatives are going to come up with. But right now, they're saying there was interference in our elections in Canada, and there's all sorts of things going on. People are going to collect food at the food banks, and not just people that are not working, people that are working. Even when I used to volunteer at the Out of the Cold programs, I used to go to the United Church. I used to see people coming in their suits after work to come have a meal because things are so hard. People are living off debt, trying to make ends meet. So it's very, very hard. People think it's easy when you come here to Canada. It's not easy. It's very hard, especially if you've got nobody to fall back on or nobody to help you. It's very, very hard. So we have to thank our Lord for our blessings and just keep going. That's all we can do. But all these caregiver jobs and all that, people have said to me, have you thought about it? I said, I don't want those jobs because I heard what those Filipino women said at the town halls. And after what I went through, I don't want to put myself in that kind of position. So I've had so many bad experiences in Canada, so many. But I just keep going and I say, you know what, God, it's in your hands. You get tired of fighting. You get tired of saying this is the right way, this is the good way. But they don't want to listen to us. Then they say, oh, you think you're better than everybody. No, I don't think that. But you also have to think about how you're treating people. The cruelty sometimes just, you can't believe it. I was shocked. That was my first town hall that I went to with Marco. And then they say, oh, Canadian values. That's why the African leaders say, exactly what Canadian values are you talking about? Or what exactly values are you talking about? Because it's not all the way they make it out to be. So that's life. We have to keep going. At least for now, I've got my mom and I can talk to her, and I've got a few good friends that keep in touch with me. We support each other. But it's very, very hard when you leave behind your communities and your loved ones and friends and family, and you come to these places. Even in England, at least I had my cousins, and we'd keep in touch. I'd go over, they'd come over to me. Over here, there's no one. It's just me and my mom. There's nobody else, no family that will come, that will spend time with me, that will say, you know what, we'll come and spend a weekend with you, or why don't you come, Belinda, come and spend. No, there's nothing like that. I had some people from Zimbabwe, I used to invite them over. And I told my mom, she was asking me, oh, don't you hear from this one anymore? Don't you hear from that one? I said to her, no, since I lost my place, nobody keeps in touch. When you've got money, everybody wants to know you. When you haven't got money, nobody wants to know you. They treat you like they can push you around from pillar to post. But anyway, hopefully I will come up. I know the sisters know that I'm looking for a good paying job. Regis College knows. Where I graduated from, Rotman also know. So hopefully something will open up. But yeah, I just thought about that today with the caregivers after seeing the drama about our elections were interfered with as well in Canada. So think about it. When they say values, think about what values they're talking about. They want you to be subservient. But we were not raised to be subservient. We were raised to be treated as equals and to use our voices and to speak up and to be confident and assertive and to have courage and be strong. That's how we were raised in Zimbabwe.